Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shemal, Shabbat Shemakakodash. Shalom to the hopefully left out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, More Rights for Happy People in the Military. This is the fornication in Revelation 17:4. Now, you watch my videos dealing with fornication, pretty much kind of countering with what the General Nathaniel, like I said, we've been saying recently, as of maybe a month ago, that he has a new what's the word? New information concerning the MOTB. So he'll say the answer to Revelation chapter 13. You know what I'm talking about? The mark, the MOTB, to prove that it's further prove that it's sin. He goes to Revelation 17, verse 4, when it speaks about the woman, which is America, having a golden cup in her hand full of abomination and fornication. And it goes on to say, if you read the whole chapter, Revelation 17, and you read Revelation 18, it speaks about how the nations committed fornication with the whore. So the Nathaniah, General Nathaniah, like, since he's a new general in town, he says that that's the backup, that's the precept that goes with Revelation 13. When he first said it, you had the individuals in the school that were saying, oh yeah, these guys got body bag. They were talking about us. You should just mention GMS. Oh, these guys got body bag. These guys got body bag. Now, I did a video the other day. What word did I cover? I got to go back to the video, but somebody helped me out. I did it yesterday, I believe. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Oh, the word that I covered yesterday was regurgitate. And regurgitate means if somebody says something, you memorize what they say and you say it. And you perfect it like you came, that's an idea in your head. But it's really somebody said something that you regurgitated. He says, well, this is the fact, this is some new information, blase, blase, blase. And you say, well, since he said it, it must be true. I'm going to start teaching it. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to analyze it. I'm not going to psychoanalyze it. I'm not going to ask for his information. Where'd you get this from? I'm just going to say it as if it's true. So they ran with what General Nathaniel told them concerning fornication in Revelation 17 is the same as the MOTB in Revelation 13. And like I said, judging by the reaction in that school, oh, they got body bag. We did not get body bag. We did not get body bag. But you stole that from the ISUPK anyway. You stole that term. You got to give them credit. But we did not get body bag. We did not get fazed by it. We pretty much laughed at it, and we did responses to that. And then I, myself, and others did videos explaining what fornication, abomination, and fornication is, which I'm going to go into this video. I'm not going to play it. This is from Redacted with well, it says Clayton Morris. but this is his wife, Natalie and Clayton Morris. I happen to subscribe to them, give you a lot of information. I can't believe that they get away with it, to be honest. So it says the U.S. military just got a huge wake-up call, and it's bad. Redacted with Clayton Morris. Should be Natalie and Clayton Morris. So I'll just read some of this, and then I actually went to the document itself. See, if you go back to the Obama administration, which he was a Democrat, didn't do a damn thing for us, didn't do nothing for us. Everybody, oh man, the first black president, I don't know what to do with myself. We're gonna change, we're gonna get better. He was just in there he was in there for 8 years. Nothing changed for Jake. The only thing was he just happened to be black. You could have put a white man, paint him in blackface, and said, "Oh, you're black. Here's your black president," because that's what he was. And he's not even an Israelite; he's a Hamite. So out of all the qualified Jakes in America, you mean to tell me you had to get a guy that's actually a Hamite? That's showing you that they don't respect. And see, you Jakes out there, you Negroes out there, you don't know the difference. You see a black person with woolly hair, oh, he's a Negro. This is why the Most High is not dealing. He's only saving a few, not too many words. He's only dealing with the elect. It says in the Apocrypha, somebody can put in. I'm not going to go into it. It says this world is for many, but the world to come is for few. What does that mean? Meaning the ones that's going to be here when the destruction comes and we build a kingdom is going to be a small number, but that number is going to grow quickly when we get out there, because the kingdom is going to be on the planet, on the earth, as it is in heaven, so as it will it be on earth. That's it, the kingdom on earth. We're going to have a lot of sex. We're going to have a lot of different women, and we're going to produce a lot of babies. So, in so many years' time, there'll be billions and billions of, I can't give you the exact number, but the scriptures speak about the sands of the sea and the stars of heaven that cannot be numbered. And most of these people that are around the world, a lot of them are Israelites. So the largest nation on the planet Earth right now are the Israelites. How many people down there in Brazil? Those are all Israelites, man. In western coast of Africa, those are Israelites. In different parts. How much seed do we leave down there in the Philippines, in Italy, in during the time of the Moors? We're all over the place, man. Anyway, let me get back into this. So I'm listening to this. I'm not going to play this. So it says case of service members who identified as these people. History. This revision updates the previous memorandum dated 27 November 2018. This is when I'm gonna read it in the actual document. When Obama was in office, before he was in office, you had Clinton. Clinton said, "Don't ask, don't tell." Because prior to that, if you were one of those people, you were court-martialed, you were dealt with. So it was Clinton that said, "Well, I'll say this: don't ask, don't tell." So don't say nothing. You don't know nothing. You can be one, but don't tell nobody. And anybody thinks that you won, they don't tell nobody. They don't ask. Are you one of them? So it's like, turn look the other way, act like you don't see it. You see two men fondling each, I can't believe that shit, fondling each other in the corner somewhere, and they in their fatigues. You act like you didn't see it. That goes with the commanders, the drill sergeants, the the DIs, the drill instructors, the drill sergeants, the specialists that's training you. They got it. They know that there's men getting it in with other men and women getting in with other women, and there's a lot of rape in the military. So their thing is based upon what Clinton said: act like you don't see it, as opposed to you're going to get court-martialed. I showed you this in a movie called Black Sea Blues, I think it was called. Came out years ago. I happened to watch the whole movie. And there was a scene. This is based upon World War II, and there was a scene where some MPs, military police, went into the barracks to get these two guys, and they were both in the bed, and they jumped out of the barrack window. So they got him. They got him. All right. So let's say you had a different type of morals back then, World War II. So like I said, Clinton comes on the scene. Don't ask, don't tell. Act like you don't know it. Act like you don't see it. And like I said, no president comes in with their own agenda. They get a script. Here, you're going to say this, that, and the other. You're going to sign off on these bills. You're going to veto that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You get a script. It's just an act. It's an actor. Matter of fact, Reagan came in and he was an actor. So he now to your biggest role, you're gonna be the president. Oh, what when did I start filming? Well, you're gonna actually be the president. The same thing with Zelensky. I was looking up Zelensky, listening to him on which station was that? I believe it was Gary Knoll here in New York area, tri-state area. It's 99.5. It comes on at 12 o'clock in New York. And I believe it was his show where they was going. Oh, Scott Ritter was a guest. You got to keep up with Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter tells the truth. Scott Ritter was a guest on Gary Knoll's show, and he was going all into how the military works. And he pretty much said they all get a script. And he said Zelensky, when Zelensky don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Zelensky was a comedian, a stand-up comedian, a dancer, an actor. He was in the entertainment business in Ukraine, and he was part of a series called I forget the name of the series, but they mentioned it. And in that series, it was a sitcom, situation comedy, where these guys from the government office come in and they say, "Good morning, President," and he gave them like, "Look, I'm the president." And maybe a couple years later, he actually became the president. I remember when he became the president, it was on certain news programs where they said, this guy, the current president of Ukraine, is actually a comedian. I remember this years ago. And they got a video out on him dancing with stilettos on with some other men with shirts off, dancing with women's high heels. Scott Ritter was saying that this guy is a complete puppet. There's this billionaire that really controls the country. He's just a guy. They just put him out there, act like you're the president, this, that, and the third. And he doesn't care about his people because he's slaughtering his own people. He's sacrificing his people. Now he's got soldiers going out there finding guys in the street. Guy be waiting for the bus. He looks like he's a grown man. They're gonna grab him and they're gonna take him. They're gonna beat the shit out of him. They're gonna train him for a month and they're gonna throw him out there against a well-tuned, well-oiled military, the Russian military. So chances are they're gonna get killed as soon as they go out there. So he's basically sacrificing his people. He don't care about his people. So anyway, let me get back into it. So if you watch this, and it goes right into it, right? 33 seconds in. It goes into, matter of fact, let me read this. It says, I'm gonna give you a couple of precepts. This revision, okay, so I gave you the backstory. Clinton said, don't ask, don't tell. Obama came in, he got a new script. Okay, this is the second part of the script. he said, out of many one, which he quoted and translated into English. What is it? Uh, a pluribus unum, which is on your dollar bill under the eagle. A pluribus unum is out of many one. So instead of him saying a pluribus unum, because it would have went over people's head, he said out of many one. So that he right there when he said that, he showed you that he was an insider, that he was following the script. He said, how did he say it? He basically said, you can openly be happy now. You can openly be happy now. And also you can, if you want to, if you come in as a man, you want to be a woman, we'll pay for it. We'll pay for everything. We'll pay for everything. Change your plumbing and all that. Then you had Trump come in, which I pray that Trump come back in the office. I pray that the devil get back in the office because he gets the script. He says, I'm going to follow the script. He throws the script out, does this thing, which is that's Nero. We'll find out the time to tell. He got to be Nero. I believe Nero ruled for about 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So his run ain't over. He'll win he'll be the nominee for the Republicans, and if he goes up against Biden, he should, tear Biden a new asshole in debating. So he should be the president. But like I said, there's people that have to pull the strings behind the curtain, so to speak. When he came in, he said, "Nah, we ain't with this no more." He said, "No, reverse all that." Then when Biden came in, so now we're up here, we're back, we're up in the present. So it says case of service members who, and this was as of what? February 2023, a couple months ago. Care of service members who identified as, this is an actual document. Look it up for yourself. MedSen memorandum number 40-517. Medical services care of service members who identified as these people. History. The revision meaning they had to take an old law and they had to go back, had to pull it back and give you a new law. They got to update the law. Remember, Trump wasn't with it. This revision updates the provisions, previous memorandum dated 27 November 18. Who was the president 27 November 27, 2018? Donald Trump. So they're bringing it back when Biden came in, following the release of DOD 1300.28 and service transition for those people, service members, anybody that's active in the military, Army Directive 2021 to 2022, and HKDA Exord 248-21 implementation that may happen of Army policy and military service of those people. Purpose: A, to establish uniform guidelines regarding the medical and mental health care of service members who identified as those people. So now I'm going to go to the document. See, we don't just tell you this happened. We give you the documentation, my man. So I put it in numbers. Let me see here. This is as of, what's the date on this? Okay, so this is put up on a couple of days ago, 2 days ago. Confidential: Biden DOD, Department of Defense memo reveals those people, service members, can skip, listen at this, skip deployments. Do you know what that means? Do you know what it means when you're deployed? That means in a war, if you're in the US, you train, whatever base you train at, they're deploying you to Iraq or Russia or Poland or whatever. That means you got to go. That means you're going to fight. That means you're going to fight. That's what it means. Military deployment. It says, confidential by Biden Department of Defense memo reveals those people, service members, can skip deployment. Can skip deployment. They don't got to fight. Is any precepts coming to your mind? And receive indefinite, as long as it takes, physical fitness standard waivers. So they can just play that I'm a different person. They don't have to go. And in the meanwhile, you can be a man but act like a woman, dress like a woman, which is a transvestite, or you can change your plumbing. The U.S. taxpayer will pay for all of that. And I believe that's in prison too. You can switch up in prison. So this is what's meant by fornication. Has nothing to do with Revelation 13, 16 and 17. General Netanyahu doesn't know what he's talking about. He's making it up as he goes along. And he's going to have to explain to the people. And by the way, he told people to take the juicy juice. If you go to my Odyssey page, he told people, if you got to take it, go ahead and take it. So a lot of them took it. And a lot of them, and 22 of them died. It says the dossier has required a new Department of Defense memo that goes into a great detail on the topic of care of service members who identified as those people. The document, which is, so this is another way that you know that this is Babylon the Great. Babylon meaning Babel, it means confusion. That even if you go back to the Hebrew, the word there is babal, means confusion. It says the document, which is not classified, but as, and the Lord said through Peter, in what is that? I believe that's Second Peter 2, verse 6, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can put it up. I'm not going to go to it. I'm almost certain. It says that Sodom and Gomorrah was an example to anyone that does what they did. The same thing will happen to them. So this is a 5,000 square Sodom and Gomorrah. There was actually 5 cities, but the 2 major ones are Sodom and Gomorrah. How was Sodom and Gomorrah taken out? By fire, brimstone from the heavens. So the spirit is talking to Peter, saying the same thing going to happen when anybody that does what Sodom and Gomorrah does. So we know that this place is done, and it's not just it's going to be done by being utterly destroyed, by being the biggest desert on the planet Earth. That, by the way, that's going to be the biggest fire in the history of all fires. We're talking about 5,000 square miles engulfed in flames. And when the smoke clears, everything's going to be broken down to its lowest common denominator, sand. The document, which is not classified but has long remained unavailable to Americans, is being published here for the first time for public consumption. So they had this behind the scenes. It said the 34-page memo details the enormous perks, guarantees, perks, you know what a perk is, benefits granted to service members who identified as those people. So it makes sense if you go in the military, if you a man, say you a woman. You a woman, say you a man. Read some more. Oh, this guy, this individual right here, he's a small hat. You can clearly see he's a small hat. And then small hats are heavy into this thing. I mean, he's walking around. You can clearly see that this is one gender, but he acting like another gender, and you got to pretend and act like that's an actual person. Says she, her, and that's a small hat, by the way. It says at the beginning of his tenure, President Biden and President Trump's ban, President Trump's ban, he banned that. He reversed what not Biden, Obama did. It says ban on people who identify as transgender serving in the military. Since then, the Biden administration has granted more and more benefits to this cohort, leading to dudes like this being celebrated by the Defense Department. It says, anyway, here's some of the highlights found within the document. Taxpayer-funded care for trans service members include, basically, you go in as a man, you can come out as a woman, and it's going to be all paid for. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. It says speech voice therapy. What do you think they mean by that? They show you how to speak like a woman. Now, my cousin Yohanabar, he was working for he was like a bus driver that was picking up people from hospitals and so forth, and he had a pickup where he had to go to this place. I forget where it was, where you had guys in the transition that maybe was a man and want to be a woman, or a woman being a man. So a bunch of guys came in there that you can clearly see they were guys, but they were dressed up like women, and they had men voices. And my cousin kind of gave him that look, and one of the guys said, "What are you looking at? You got a problem?" And my cousin said, "No, I ain't got no problem." Because he trained him. He said, "You're gonna run into these men that think they're women and women that think they're men." And then he said that in that place, they actually have classes where they show you how a woman, if you're a man, they show you how to pick up something, how to, do this, how to do that. There's certain things that and like you see it out here now. You'll see a woman walking down the street, the hair long, and then you see the face, and you can kind of know, and the walk, you can kind of know that's a dude trying to be a woman. It says speak. So that's the fornication, General Nathanielika. That's the fornication. It has nothing to do with the C-hip. It has absolutely nothing to do with the C-hip. Oh, and if you also go on my Odyssey page, I put up a video that Alex Jones did. I just copied and put it up there, where in the military, there was this one guy in the military that said they're putting, C-hips in us now. They're putting MOTBs in us. And so this Alex Jones said, "Do they tell you that it's the C-hip?" He said, "Yep, they tell you that you're getting a C." Because when you go in the military, they give you a lot of shots, give you a lot of different shots. So that's part of you signing on. Give you a lot of different things that they might explain it briefly, but one of the things that they gave you, and this guy that called in has no reason to lie, and we know that's the fulfillment of prophecy. And I said this in the past, that they're gonna C-hip people in classes. They're gonna get everybody in the military, my army, everybody in the Navy, everybody in whatever, all the nurses in New York, all the nurses in Delaware, all the nurses in Colorado, all the doctors, all the government workers, then it's going to come down to private citizens. If you work for McDonald's, you got to get it. If you go to the gym, you got to get it. Eventually, it's going to come down to if you don't get it, you can't buy or sell. So you can continue to listen to General Nathaniel or the ISUPK, which they don't even say it that much. That's why we never really have back and forth with them. They don't even really bring it up, but we know what they did teach in the past. So any group, you go ahead and follow them, man. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if you leave. I ain't with GMA. Good. Don't tell me nothing. Don't even tell me. Just leave. Come one day, don't come back the other day. I said, where that brother go? I don't know. If we don't see him in a couple of weeks, that nigga fell out the truth. So you go ahead and follow those camps. And then when it actually happens, you're gonna have to make a decision. And if you go ahead and take it because your illustrious leader told you to take it, well, guess what? That's your fucking ass. And don't come to me, I want to join GMS now. That doesn't the Bishop Nate, and he told me to take it, and I went ahead and take it. And I said, nah, brother, you can't be in the camp. We're gonna have videos. We're gonna have disclaimers. If you have the chip, do not come around GMS. You might contaminate us. It says in Revelation 16 that you're gonna get a cancer from it too. It says speech voice therapy, meaning they're going to show you how to speak and act and, cross your leg like a woman and put your hand down like a woman. It says, what is this? Cross-sex hormones to change your body. They're gonna if you don't have breasts, they're gonna stick you and you're gonna grow breasts. They're gonna give you the BBL, the Brazilian butt lift. They're gonna do certain things to take the hair off of your chest and off of your legs and so forth. And on your back, they're gonna use like like a wax. They're gonna put that shit on. They're gonna pull off that wax, and they're gonna do certain things on you. They're gonna feed you with estrogens, which is the hormone for a woman that makes a woman, as opposed to testosterone that makes a man. It says, because these are your black women, they got testosterone. They're full of testosterone, man. These old black women looking like linebackers, man. That's this testosterone. Testosterone, if I'm saying it right. Voice feminization surgery, meaning they're going to do something to your vocal cord to make you sound like one of them. So this is a sick world that we're living in. Facial contouring to make you look more like if you're a man, in the case of a man. Body contouring, they're going to give you the curves. Men have different curves than women. Breast, chest surgery, you know what that means. Upper surgery. Genital mutilation surgery, lower surgery. Psychological counseling. Okay, y'all saw that. The service members identify as trans, waiver physical standards. Right, they don't got to train. They don't got to climb up that green wall, climb up that rope and all that. Waive become a de facto permanent situation. Trans identified service members, just as to renew the exemption, service members who identified as trans will be considered, listen at that, non-deployable. Deployment, meaning when there's a war, they're not going to send you out there. Now, pursuant to Joel chapter 2, what is that, the 19th verse around there, the Northern Army, they might just say, you know what, we sending everybody out there. We don't know how that's going to happen. So for you women, you women got to go. You women that came in as women, you got to go, unless you become a man or a man become a woman. or you just think you're a woman, but you're a man, you don't got to go because that's a psychological issue. We can't say he's bruised in the brain. That's from the movie Boys in Company C. For up to 300 days, that's almost a year, while taking hormones for their transition period. Again, but they can stay out of it because they can have psychological issues. So they know we're going to give them another 300 days. Given that these hormones are often required for life. So basically, if you're going as a man, become a woman, you don't got to go fight. This may render the trans identifying service member as permanently, that means forever, until the missiles come, permanently unable to deploy. We can't send you. I want to go. I want to go. This is a man. Let's get married to a woman, and you want to go. No, you can't because you're in transition. We don't know what you might do over there. You might go crazy. The United States military is facing its worst recruiting environment service since 73, meaning nobody's joining the military. That's why you have a draft. They had the Vietnam draft. The draft during the Vietnam was nobody was joining. That's not fuck that. I ain't joining goddamn military. So they had to draft people. They had to make you go. When the conscription, that's draft era, ended, and that was during the time of the Vietnam conflict. And by the way, prior to the Nam, you had the all-American Negro, the all-American white boy. There was no drugs. You know, if you took 2 aspirin when you're supposed to take 1 aspirin, you was like a drug addict. So what introduced drugs to the United States? Vietnam. Them guys all came drugged up. It says 19 environment since 1973 when the conscription era, which is conscription meaning you have an act called the Conscription Act, which means to draft people. Era ending, and the current all volunteer force was formed. They said, no, we don't need to draft people because people like the military. And motherfuckers ain't going in the military. You got to draft people. Ain't nobody in their right mind going into the military unless they're stupid. Or unless they say, well, there's no wars. You know, you guys are doing good in between wars. But if you join and the next year there's a major war and you already stuck. You got to do your 7 years. As the Defense Department memo makes clear, the U.S. military in 2023, Biden's administration represents more of a social welfare and social justice program than an entity proposed with defeating an aggressing army, the enemy. So the army's in the business of making men women and women men. Be all you can be. It said be all you can be. So you come in being a man, you can be a woman. This place is done. So they are going to have a draft, in my humble opinion. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this link in the description, and I'm going to give you a couple of precepts. One is Jeremiah 50, verse 37. I should read a couple of verses above that. And this right here shows you that this is not talking about ancient Babylon. Let me start the 33rd verse. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Yasha'Allah, the sons of Yasha'Allah, and the sons of Judah will press together. What does that mean? Because you had the northern kingdom, southern kingdom. The northern kingdom, they left after the Assyrian Empire, and you never heard of them no more. There was a few of them that stayed with Judah. So what does it mean by the sons of Israel and the sons of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom? They're going to be oppressed together. Let's talk about right now. All those people that's coming from South America, Venezuela, Mexico, Ecuador, whatever, that's coming up in here, they're our people. So when you see them, you should say hello to them. You know, because some of them will most likely be of the elect. Some of them will most likely be of the masses in white in Revelation 7 and 9. It said, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the sons, the children." The word there is sons. If you go to the Hebrew, the sons of Yasha'Allah, meaning the northern kingdom, and the sons of Yahweh, meaning the southern kingdom, were pressed together. That means they're together. They're together. What place are they together in? In the great melting pot, the great cauldron. And all that took them captives held them fast. We're still here and refused to let them go. Ain't no nigga talking about going back to Africa. There's a small percentage. There's not even 1% of the Jakes want to go back to Africa. They might go and visit Africa, and then they'll bring their black asses back. Ain't nobody saying we're going back to Africa. It says their redeemer is strong. The word redeemer means like if you have a coupon to get a free. I remember Burger King had like a new crispy fries, and you get a free coupon. So you would bring it in the hopes that you would buy a burger and shake and all that. But I was just going there. I said, "Yeah, give me my damn fries." So that was free fries. So they would say, "Well, where's your coupon?" "Oh, it's right here." "Oh, I left it home." "Well, go ahead and get it and come back and you get your free fries." So when I bring that in, I redeemed. That's called redeem. Redeem. You give them the coupon, they give you the fries. So that's what is meant by "no man shall buy you" in Deuteronomy 28:68. No man shall redeem you. Ultimately, who's going to redeem you? Our Redeemer. It says their Redeemer is strong. Who's our Redeemer? Yahweh Shai, the second in command under Yahweh. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. Now that's talking about the Most High, but the one that's going to actually come down and get us is Yahweh Shai in this gigantic ship. That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Ooh, what does it mean to disquiet the inhabitants of the land of Babylon? How is he going to disquiet them? He's going to burn them up. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, Babylon, which is America. And none of these Christian scholars will tell you that it's talking about America. They'll tell you it's talking about ancient Babylon. Saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, America, and upon her princes, leaders, governors, mayors, presidents, and upon her wise men, a sword, which the sword represents the destruction, the ICBMs, is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, the military, and they shall be dismayed. A sword, the nuclear destruction, is upon their horses, their power, and upon their chariots, their power, and upon all the mingled people, and upon all the. What do you have here in America? Mingled people. You got all type of nations up in here. You know what I'm saying? You got the weirdos, you got the moles, you got the trannies, you got this, you got that. It says all the mingled people, and then you got the religions. You can be any religion that you want that are in the midst of her, Babylon, America, and they shall become as what? As women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. So it says they shall become women. How do you become woman? You got to start. You can't start as being a woman to become a woman. You start as being a man. So that's that fornication. That's why what's her name? Kamala Harris went over to Uganda because they're saying if we catch anybody that's a trans person, the sentence is death. So she went over there trying to convince them otherwise. And they say, no, we ain't having that. We ain't having that. So now let's go to the next precept. Nahum 3 verse 13. You can start at the top. And this is also talking about Nineveh. You had the ancient Nineveh, and this is the new Nineveh, which is America, another name for America. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates, your shield against ICBMs shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. Number one is the Russians. The fire shall devour thy bars. Thy bars is your system, your what do you call it, defense systems, because they're going to use hypersonic missiles which cannot be detected by radar. So one more, and I'm gonna close. Isaiah 19, verse 16. And you should read this from the first verse. In that day shall Egypt, America, be like unto what? Unto woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which is the missiles, which he shaketh over it. Isaiah 24 says the earth is going to reel back and forth. It's going to shake. So these guys in the military, they're going to realize, oh, we don't have to be deployed. If you're whatever training camp, what do you call that? Fort Lejeune or Fort this fort or that fort, and you're being trained and a war breaks out and you don't want to be deployed, you a man, right? You know you got to be deployed. You're gonna say, I don't want to be a man. I woke up, I had a dream that I was a woman, so I want to be a woman. I'm thinking about it, but right now my mind, my spirit is that of a woman. Guess what? They can't send you over there. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. See how these scriptures are coming to life. You see how these Christians, they can't sleep. All these, you know who's watching all your videos? These Christians. They're learning from us. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.